what YouTube is going to do, but apparently they want me to be vertical tonight. So that's what's going to happen. But I do have a lot to talk about. Let me pull up my notes here and we will get started. But tonight I'm going to talk about that we may have some great news. The 2024 Corvette may not be affected by the UAW strike, and I'm going to explain all of that, go over it all with you guys in detail, and have you guys chime in and see if you guys can help with that as well. Scott Grindle, what's up? Let me say hello to everybody. Looks like we have a lot of people in here already. We've got Davy Jones, Michael McCurry, we've got Joe Mamressa, Lego D17, Caleb, Lance Smith, Kevin Haran, Ronald Jackson, Eric Walker, Track Speed 815, what's going on? Which is Joe, Vet Life, R23 HTC, Mark Cutsey, let's see, Ilya Karakin, Doug Hooks. We've got Simple Cooking Made Simple, Andrew, General Lee, Stephen Rapp, Tony. Lots and lots of people in here. People I've never seen before. MSN 2388, John Perkins. So thank you guys for joining me. Sorry, this is a vertical live stream. It really sucks. Joey B's in here as well. Kerry Glock is in here. Jonathan Brown, Great White North Corvette. So, also YMV Mark. Lots of people. All right. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. All right. Let me pull this up real quick. And we will get going on the notes. So, we're going to do a weekly giveaway. And we can either give away one of these shirts or one of these again from the Carlisle event. But just so you know, I have 0 extra larges. I have a few larges in this. I have double XLs, triple XLs, and that's about it. So that's what I have for tonight. By the way, thank you so much to everyone who super chatted last week. You guys are absolutely amazing. That supports the channel big time. As you know, I've told you plenty of times, there is a benefit to both you and to me for super chatting. Super chatting gets whatever you want said put up at the top, and it, I read it right away, and then it also helps support me and the two guys sitting next to me usually on the Brinkofspeed Octane Hour. But again, thank you so much to all those that did super chat. As far as the giveaway, that's what I wanted to talk about next. So there is an UndrDog giveaway going on right now. It was kind of supposed to end at the end of August, but we extended it a little bit just because next Wednesday when we're back in the studio, we want to do the giveaway just like we did last week with the Stance wheels. And by the way, give Lance Smith a huge congratulations. He won that last week and it was awesome. So we're going to give away a set of Forge Light wheels next week. And until the end of tonight, you can still go on UndrDog.com, purchase their products, put in Brinkofspeed for your code, get 15% off, and get entered into winning those Forge Light wheels. So just keep that in mind. And my last 2 videos, Scott Grindle is on here. So you guys, if you have not seen the video where I go to his house and I interview him about his car, because of the fact that he was the big giveaway winner back in April, you guys should definitely go check that out. It is an amazing video. And Scott's a great guy. He was very gracious to have us there and show us his beautiful car. So check that out. And then you should also check out Z06 Bandito's car, which is Jose. He was at Carlisle. He's a good friend. He lives over not too far, about, I don't know, 45 minutes away from me. And he has an amazing, amazing Z06. And while I was at Carlisle, I got some video of it. But guys, trust me, this is nothing compared to what I'm going to get of his car once he gets it back. He's got some stuff being done to it. Once he gets that car back, it's going to be amazing. All right. General Lee says that car was epic. You are correct. It is an epic car. And actually, it ended up on Corvette Blogger today, and it ended up on the Chive. If anybody knows what the Chive is, it ended up on the Chive today. So it's very cool. But those two videos are linked in the description as usual, so check those out. All right. How does it look with me being vertical, guys? I've never done a live vertical on YouTube. I have on Instagram, but never on YouTube. So what do you guys think? Give it a big thumbs up if you're enjoying this already. It really helps YouTube know that you are enjoying the content. All right. Before we get into the main subject, I have something very interesting to bring up to you guys. So everybody on the live stream tonight that owns a Z06, please don't get worried about this, because if it hasn't happened to you yet, it probably isn't going to happen. But one of my followers reached out to me today, and he stated that he was thinking there was some sort of issue in his Z06 engine. So he took the dipstick out, and he was checking the oil, and he figured out that there's gas leaking into the oil. Now that seems like a very big deal, and he took it to his local Chevy dealership, and with everything that he's been told, it sounds like he may have to replace that, or GM is going to have to replace that LT6. So, have you guys heard of this happening, or is he the first out there that this has happened to? Let me know in the comments right now. So Shiny Fenders says that's a known problem. That's interesting, because I had never heard of that. I don't know if you guys have. I definitely have not heard of that, though. So very interesting that you had heard of that. Yeah, Mark Cutsey says first he's heard of it. Sorry, guys, I have an itch on my foot, and it's driving me nuts. I'm going to have to take this shoe off. Yeah, Lego D17 says he's never heard of that. What is the root cause of gas diluting the oil? We don't know yet. He's gonna keep me up to date, but he has no idea why this has happened. I didn't get any specifics from him about his break-in. I didn't, obviously he probably broke it in properly. So it's just probably a brand new issue with the LT6 that most people didn't know about. Where is he? Shiny knew about it, but none of us did. Shiny Vendors. Yeah, Michael McCurry says, sounds like a problem with the rings. Did Darren join us? Oh yeah, Darren is on. Awesome. Welcome, Darren. Failed gasket. Yeah, could be that. But anyway, stuck injectors, bad gaskets, yeah. So, I don't know how many miles are on it. He didn't tell me that either. I didn't have time to email him back and get a bunch of specifics. But, anyway, I'll find out more information about it, and I may be making a video about this situation, because it is, like I said, brand new to me. Okay? Steven, he can't get his butt in the studio. I'm here at my house. All right, guys, this is fun already. You guys are giving me great feedback, and that's what it's all about. So, let's go ahead and get to the main topic, which is a lot of information that I have for you guys. And by the way, the information that I have for you is on the Mid-Engine Corvette forum. Usually on my lives, when we're in the studio, I can bring that stuff up for you so you can read along with me. But when I'm on my cell phone, I'm not able to do that. So just bear with me. But I'm going to try and get through this. And like I said, there's a lot of information, and I want your feedback each step of the way. So, targeting key production sites is what they're talking about right now at the UAW. There's oh my gosh, I can't even talk. Strategically force other plants to shut down to save them from burning through their $825 million strike dollars. So they have, X amount built up for their strike that they can use, and they're trying to be strategic about the way that they strike. And it makes sense to me. They call that, it's called bottleneck strikes. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to hit the most important factories, and this is all of the three manufacturers. This isn't just GM. This is Ford, Chevy, Dodge. They're trying to hit the most important factories that have the most effect on the factories that produce the most cars. I think is exactly how they explained it. So let's see. Ronald Jackson says, recent news tonight, the UAW is talking. Strict strike might not happen. Well, good. That would be amazing. We are all rooting for the strike not to happen. And let me give you some more information here. Again, this is called bottleneck striking. The most famous example occurred at two General Motors plants in 1998, where a few thousand workers in Flint, Michigan ultimately took down about 30 other assembly plants and 100 North American parts plants for almost 2 months. That's a big deal. They did the exact same strategy. The strike cost GM about $2 billion back in 1998. And a similar bottleneck strike occurred in 96 when a walkout at two plants in Ohio forced GM to shutter virtually all operations. So a pretty big deal that they can just not strike at every single plant and affect virtually every single plant. Big deal there. Yeah, Vet and I says it must not happen, not good for either side. Plus, I have a 10-2 TPW. I hear that. None of us that are getting new cars are wanting the strike to happen. But unfortunately, I don't know, with their demands, it just seems pretty inevitable that it will happen. But hopefully we're wrong. Hopefully they can work things out. But I think we have, 8 days until they make the decision. So they've got a little over a week to make the decision whether they're going to strike or not. All right. Some of those key sites that they're thinking about bottlenecking are the Ford Motor Company in Livonia, Michigan. It's a transmission plant. The Lima engine plant in Ohio. The Cleveland engine plant in Ohio, and both of those build of course they build engines. They're engine plants. They build the TIVCT Duratec V6 engines, the EcoBoost engines, and it looks like all EcoBoost engines in both plants. And then Stellantis in Indiana is a transmission plant. And Dundee engine plant in Michigan. And then General Motors, Romulus Powertrain in Michigan, which is the HFV6 engines and 10-speed transmissions. Toledo, Ohio is the propulsion systems. So it's 6-speed, 8-speed, and 10-speed transmissions let's see, front wheel drive, 9-speed transmission, and EV drive units. And then Marion, Indiana is the metal center, sheet metal with stamped parts. And that right there is the one that worries me. So let's see what people are saying. Stella, this is not playing ball as a nice GM. That's right around the corner. Huh. You guys are getting off the subject, which is fine. But let me know what you guys think about those plants. Those are the ones that they named on the Mid-Engine Corvette forum. But it says the UAW has to tread lightly when doing these types of strikes. Because if they strike for a particular reason that does not match up with these plants, GM, Ford, and Dodge can actually bring a lawsuit against them, and they've done it before in the past. So if they do the bottleneck striking in these certain plants, they have to strike for the right reasons in those plants. They can't strike for reasons that are in a different plant that they're trying to affect and put that as the reason for striking in one of these plants. So that's how they have to tread lightly when doing these strikes. But let's see. Lego D17 says, well, I'm in Cleveland, so I'll have to look into that. Thank you. Let's see. Any other comments on that? May want to tell everyone what UAW is demanding. Good point, Mike. So if you're new and you haven't heard what the UAW is demanding, they are wanting a 46% pay increase over 4 years for their workers. They're also wanting a 4-day work week, 8 hours a day, so 32 hours, but get paid for 5 days, 40 hours. So those are the two really big things that they're wanting. They're wanting some different benefits, extra benefits as well, but the 4-day work week and the 46% raise over 4 years are the two biggest things that they're wanting. And those are two huge deals. Let's see. Ronald Jackson says some of the wages asked for will probably fly. The 32-hour work week will be killed. Getting the temp workers to full status will be touch and go. Yeah, that's another thing that they wanted. They want some of the temporary workers to be brought up, or maybe all of the temporary workers to be brought up to full-time status. And again, that could be a big deal because of the fact that it's going to cost GM, hundreds of millions, if not billions, to do that. So, but we're going to get to the reason why the UAW thinks that they deserve this. So let's first, though, talk about how these sites affect the BGA Corvette plant, or how they could affect it. So some of these may make parts that are sent to BGA, obviously. One of the plants makes the stamped aluminum panels, and on the Mid-Engine Corvette forum, John, the guy that runs the forum, stated that he thought one of the stamped metal pieces, that's a pretty darn big piece. If you go on there and look at it, it's a huge piece for the C8 Corvette, is made in one of those plants that they make the sheet metal, the Marion Metal Center in Indiana. So that would immediately shut down Bowling Green if that plant was shut down. Do any of you guys on here know of any of these plants? I'm sorry, anything these plants make that could affect BGA? Can't even read. What is this? Paul Yunker. I can't tell what that little emoji is, but it looks funny. Yeah, Bruno, you heard that correctly. They want 46% over 4 years. It's a big deal. And, on top of that, they only want to work 4 days a week. So, very big deal. Let's see. Any more about the plant? Okay. So let's move on to what is next. How long could the strike go for? Well, I think we might have our answer here. Each at $500 a week per member, potentially plus healthcare costs, the union has a few months worth of strike pay on hand. So only a few months, but that's a lot of time. So real quick, before I keep reading that, let me just explain something. In 2019, the strike was 42 days. The first C8s were supposed to be delivered to dealerships at least by the end of December of 2019. But because of a 42-day strike, the very first C8s were delivered, I think it was February 12th or something like that, February 8th. So it was almost a 2-month deal pushback because of a 42-day strike. Now, there is a difference between the 2020 C8 and a 2024 C8. The biggest difference is they didn't know what they were getting into with the 2020 C8, so they had a huge QC process, and that's one of the reasons why they had to hold that car there for a lot longer than they hold them now. So that may get us cars sooner after this strike. But it says, let me assure you, the VPs, myself, and all the leadership at this level are the bargaining committees. We understand how to manage this. Fain said in response to a worker's question on the issue during a Facebook live stream early August, we have a plan, and come September 14th, if these companies don't deliver, they're going to see that plan unfold. So how will this affect the 2024 C8 Corvette being built if the strike shuts down BGA? Well, again, I think I kind of just answered that. It could, if we only strike for 40 days again, it's still probably going to mean that we're not getting cars until February or March of 2020. But I could be wrong. It might mean that we're getting them January. It could be a month earlier just because of the fact that we aren't having the huge QC delays that we had in 2020. So, I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? Yeah, Supercar Ranch brought up the whole COVID thing. That definitely affected things in 2020, but that didn't affect anything before people started getting their cars because there were no lockdowns or shutdowns until the end of March, beginning of April, and they started delivering the C8s in February. So, yeah. So, Robert, we are going to get to Mary Barra because it's very crazy what they have to say about her. And that's exactly what we're talking about next. So why are the UAW workers wanting to strike? UAW and workers wanting to strike. Well, General Motors' profit for 12 months ending June 30th, 2023 was $22.344 billion, which was a 32.21 increase over last year. General Motors' annual gross profit for 2022 was $20.981 billion, which was a 17.36% increase of 2021 or from 2021. And 2021 was $17.878 billion, which was a 30.76% increase over 2020. Not to mention what Mary Barra is paid, and she is the highest paid, this doesn't mean anything for the UAW, but she is the highest paid CEO out of the 3 Detroit automakers. Her annual salary her 2022 salary was $28,979,570, compared with she made $29,136,780 in 2021. And in 2020, she made $23 million. And in 2019, she made $21 million. So she's making lots of millions. So for the CEO, I've never heard of a CEO making that kind of money. I thought CEOs were making like 2 or 3 million a year. And then when they get pushed out, they usually get a giant severance package of like, 15 to 18 million. But she's making almost 30 million a year to be a CEO. To me, that's overpaid. Just like Robert said from Corvette World. And I think there's probably quite a few that would agree with that, but I don't know. That just seems crazy to me. So that's the reason why, those are the two reasons why the workers and really the UAW is pushing the workers to strike, because GM's profits from 2020 have gone up exponentially, just crazy amounts. And they're trying to say, we need to share in those profits. But they're asking for something that's basically going to take away all those profits from GM over the next few years. So that's, yeah, it's interesting, but that's what's happening. So, how could BGA avoid being shut down? There is a chance that the UAW only picks plants that don't affect the Bowling Green assembly plant at all. Of course, we'll just have to wait and see what happens on the 14th. But there were some very optimistic or optimism people, or I said it right, optimistic people on the Mid-Engine Corvette forum talking about how they thought there was a good possibility with what they were reading that there might not be a strike, there might be, or even if there was a strike, that these people are going to strike on plants that don't affect the Bowling Green assembly plant. I find that highly unlikely, but I'm hoping that that is what happens. So, let's talk about it. Those are all the notes that I wanted to go through about the strike. Let's see. What do we have here? Mark Kutze. How many GM employees are there? I think 155,000 is what they said on that article. That's a lot of names Mary has to remember. Maybe that's one of the reasons for her pay. Yeah, I mean, she's got backups, multiple people that back her up. So, I don't know. She does have to make very hard decisions, like every CEO does, but I'm not sure that she's worth $30 million a year. I don't know. Salary is one thing, but the stock options are a whole other ballgame. Yeah, she does get crazy stock options too. I mean, she's set for the rest of her life if she quit right now. So, but what do you guys think? What are any of you on the up and up? Do any of you know anybody that works for GM, whether it be in Detroit, whether it be in Bowling Green, whether it be in, here in Arlington, Texas? Anybody know anyone at Bowling or in the GM plant that knows what's going on and if they think that the strike is going to happen? Especially if you know someone that's high up in GM. By the way, we've got almost 200 people in here. If you have not smashed that thumbs up button, please do so. I hugely appreciate it, and YouTube will as well. Dr. Corvette is on here now. Awesome. Oh, you're welcome. So Dr. Corvette got his little model car from me this week, and I signed the base of it, not the car, but like the plaque that it sits on. And I also opened up the box and signed the inside of the box. So he's got a real memento there. He can keep it forever or he can sell it, whatever he wants to do with it. It's his to do what he wants. So, and everybody that I sent shirts to last week should have received them because I sent them out Thursday, the very next day, so you guys should have all that. If production labor costs rise, then even more pressure to cut out the dealers and sell direct to consumers. Service facilities would then take care of your repair needs. Big changes coming. Yeah, I just don't know if they'll ever get rid of dealerships though, because, oh, there's Keith French right there. I'm going to interrupt myself though and talk to Keith French, and I don't know if he just got on here or not, but he is the one where the gasoline is in his oil. So we all want to know, Keith, how many miles are on your car? Is it broken in? And what do you think caused the issue, if you have any idea? And if you've heard from the dealership, what, might have caused that issue. Glass City says he got his shirts. You're very welcome. Hope you enjoy them. Michael McCurry got his. You're very welcome. Steve Robertson got his. Awesome. Let's see. Anybody else? By the way, why can't I think of the name here? I know he's on here, though. Supercar Ranch, Clayton. I sent yours off on yesterday. I sent it off yesterday. I couldn't mail them Monday. So you should have your shirt probably tomorrow, I would guess. Okay, so did Keith French respond yet? No, he has not. Mark Cutsey got his shirts. Awesome. Great news. Luke Walker has a question. Could you smell the gas in the oil? Good question. How did the gas oil problem show up? JP wants a shirt. Do you want one of these shirts? Or do you want one of these shirts? You guys let me know. Okay, so Keith French says, yes, today's the first day I dropped it off. They did not diagnose it. I just let them smell the dipstick, and they agreed that it smelled like gas. So Jim did not offer to replace the engine. GM, okay. I guess Brandon from Vet Titans has a video on it. So Shiny Fenders, did he himself experience this with his Z06, or did he have a friend or someone that he knows experience it? You want the shirt that I have on, JP? All right, well, you're going to have a chance to win one. I'm not sure what size you are, but any super chats tonight, or any super stickers or super chats, or even Venmo for $20 will get you this shirt if we have the size. Remember, we have to have your size. We have larges in this shirt, double X's in this shirt, triple X's in this shirt, and then in this shirt we have triple X's, double X's, one medium, and that's it. No extra larges, no larges. Yes, I do have triple extra larges, but you are not a triple extra large, Andrew. Who do you need the shirt for? JP needs a double XL. I believe, yeah, I've got double XL in this shirt. So again, super chats, super stickers, Venmos for $20 gets you this shirt. You don't have to pay shipping. Normally on the website, this shirt is $30 or $35. I don't remember which. Plus you have to pay shipping. So you're getting a really good deal. $20, no shipping cost, Venmo or super chats or super stickers. All right. And if you do a super chat or a super sticker or a Venmo, make sure you email me. And I'll put my email in here because I need to be able to get your address and send it to you. Okay, let's get back to the Keith French discussion. Let's see. If you have a Z06, make sure you smell the dipstick when you check the oil. So everybody take heed to that. Listen to what Keith French is saying. Did you ever say how many miles were on your car, Keith? I didn't see that. We'd all love to know how many miles are on that car. He said last week it was a ½ inch below the fill line, so it has increased in 7 days' time. Wow. 980 miles. So it's definitely broken in. Now, did you do the proper break-in where you kept the RPMs low and also, varied the RPM? Let us know about that. By the way, if you already have thousands and thousands of miles on your LT6 and you haven't noticed this, I probably wouldn't worry about it, because you probably would have noticed it and your engine probably would have started having major issues by now. Okay, so Andrew, you need one for your dad. Yes, I have triple extra larges in both shirts. And I owe you shirts anyway, so don't worry about anything. Super chats, memos, none of that. I'll get you some shirts. Shiny Fenders says this is a Z06 only. I don't know if you're asking the question or if you're stating that, yes, it's not in the LT2, it's only in the LT6. Keith French says yes. I'm not sure what you're saying. 8 p.m. max per day on highway and city. Okay, so you broke it in properly. Mark Cutsey, FYI, I have 2,600 miles on my Z06 and was a quart low. Now that is actually a good thing to bring up. Every Z06 that I've ever owned, in fact, the very first Z06 that I owned that had an LS6, not an LT6, which was a 2003 C5 Z06, the Chevy dealership told me that after you drive about 12 to 1,500 miles, that it would be a very good idea to check the oil, because of the fact that the LT6 or the LS6 was such a high performance engine that it kind of burnt the oil for the first few thousand miles. And he was right. We checked the oil, it was low, and I just had him go ahead and change it back then. And I think the same probably goes for all the rest of these Z06 high performance engines, the LT4 and the LT6. Okay, Mike K says, love my collection of BOS shirts. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy them. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. He's the first super chatter of the night. Let's see. Engine temp normal. I check my oil level in my Z01 when I leave because it does use some oil, about ½ a quart every 3 to 4 fuel ups or so. Wow, that LT4 is running through oil that fast. That surprises me. And you have quite a few miles on that ZL1, right? Let me know about that, Everjeff. General Lee says his levels are on point. Maybe I'm not driving fast enough. Well, I drove it fast enough for you, Greg. And it sounds like Doug Hooks drove it fast too. Which, by the way, I got to tell you guys have been seeing on these lives lately that Doug Hooks was moving close. He has a second house close to General Lee, and they got hooked up and had a great day together. Doug Hooks brought his 60th anniversary C6 Z06 over to General Lee's, and I got pictures of them sitting next to each other in General Lee's garage. And that's what the BOS community is all about. We're a family. I love it that people become friends because of this channel. And you know what? They're hanging out now and they're good friends. And they have a lot in common. They're both in the military. They both were at the same base for a little while. And obviously they both love vets. And so very, very cool that they've become friends and they live close. So, I mean, we all figured that we were going to have some issues with the LT6 because it's the very first time GM has ever attempted to build this type of engine before. And so they're going to go through growing pains. I feel like it's been very few growing pains. I mean, we've had the knocking in the engines. We've had this issue now. And I think that's it. I can't think of another. Well, we've had a couple LT6s just blow up. But there's only been like 2 or 3 of those out of 5,000 plus Z06s. So that's not too bad for a brand new engine that GM took, multiple years to develop and is the coolest engine they've ever built, in my opinion. Yeah, common with high torque engines, but it's not very high torque compared to the horsepower. It's got 460 foot-pounds of torque. If the torque matched the 670 horsepower, then, I would agree. But, yeah, Doug Hook's made a very good point. It is a hand-built engine as well. That should help it, though, in my opinion. You would think that would help it be less vulnerable, but maybe not. I don't know. There's a lot of things about engines I don't know. So it wouldn't surprise me if that didn't help. Let's see. Mark Cootsey. After 500 miles, I only drive with paddle shifters and usually drive in gear at 6,000 to 6,500 RPMs. Maybe that is why the court needed as compared if you're driving in auto with faster shifts. No, I think it's just because it's a high-performance engine. But I don't know. I guess every engine is different because General Lee's levels are fine and he's got way more miles and he drives it and he lets other people drive it. Mark K says that's why I'll never buy first year anything. Yeah, but you can say that. But I mean, honestly, my 2020 C8 had a few issues, but nothing major, and it was fine. I'm so glad I bought that 2020 C8. It brought me a lot of you guys. I got a lot of subscribers from that car. So, Harlan had a recent article about production. All right, Steven, I'll check that out. I haven't seen that. Let me know where it's at. Good question, General Lee. How many C8 Z06s were made in 2023? Anyone know? I don't know. Yeah, the higher the RPM, the more the oil is consumed generally. Correct. Okay, let's go ahead and let's do the question of the night. So let's get to that. Okay. So guys, it's time to do the weekly giveaway. And I'm going to make this pretty simple for you guys. How many miles are on my 2023 Camaro that I just took delivery in March of? March 13th, I believe, is when I took delivery of that car. You guys are already guessing. Good work. Holy cow, Supercar Ranch thinks I've driven in almost 70,000 miles. Oh, that's a lot of miles. So we've got two people that are really close. Yeah, somebody's way closer than, let's see. Let it go a little bit longer, but we have somebody that's really, really close. So if somebody gets closer, then we'll go ahead. Somebody just got closer. Interesting. Good guesses, though, by the way. A lot of good guesses. Oh, boy. All right. I'm going to hit end right now because we got somebody that got almost right on the dot. I mean, they're off by, let me just look at it again. They're off by 13 miles. And let me just double check and make sure there is no one else that got that close. But I don't believe there is. I think we have a winner that is only off by 13 miles. Yep. Just double checking. Somebody put 46,000 miles. Wow, if I had driven 46,000 miles by now, that would be crazy. All right, Stephen Rapp, you are the winner. Congratulations. Stephen Rapp said 3,300 miles exactly. And I am at 32,087 miles. So he's the winner. Congratulations. And I have your size. I don't know if you have a BOS shirt or not like this, but I do have I have your size in this shirt. So good work. He deserves it. He's usually a big, I mean, not usually, almost every single night that we're on here, he's given lots of super chats. So he's a very, very good supporter of the channel. I mean, you guys all are in your own way. So that was awesome. 32,082. No, 3,287. Oh, that's funny. Yep. So, any more discussion about the oil and fuel or the UAW strike or ordering the E-Ray? If you guys want to talk about that, does anyone know? Let's see what Great White North Corvette says. Does anyone know what model of Corvette crashed at the GM test track? Was it a Z06, Z01, Zora, or E-Ray? It was the Z06. And it was a pretty bad crash. But the thing about that is that happened back in June. I'm not sure why we're just now hearing about it. He was going, I think, 180, I want to say. Crashed really hard, burnt the whole car to the ground. I think the test driver lived, so at least he didn't, pass away from that crash. But yeah, it was completely destroyed and burnt to the ground, and we haven't found out what happened. So yeah, Luke Walker says, ever reveal what failed? No, we have no idea. Oh, he was badly burned. That's awful. And I know those guys wear fire suits, but sometimes you just can't get out of the car in time. So I'm really glad that he got out, though. Mark Cutsey says 8 drivers have died there over the years. That's crazy, yeah. 70% of his body and face were burnt. Dang, that is sad. That is awful. I heard he was not a GM driver. See, I didn't hear that. I actually, on CorvetteBlogger.com, I'm 99.9% sure it said he was a GM test driver. But let me just look at that real quick. I can get to it pretty quickly here. Yeah, it says he was an employee of General Motors, so. Anyway, I think he did hit trees, and it probably was an engineer, but a lot of the not a lot, but a few of the engineers are really good drivers, and so they act as test drivers for the new cars. They even do that on the Nürburgring when they go there. So, but let's see, anything else here? I stay clear of trees, yeah. That's a good, oh yeah, 2024 colors. So guys, I have a video coming out tomorrow with all the colors, showing them again with a little bit different take on it. I think you guys are really going to love the beginning. I actually wanted to release that today so that we could talk about it tonight, but it just didn't work out. I was super busy today doing a bunch of things, and I'm just going to release it tomorrow. But like I said, I think you guys are really going to enjoy the beginning of tomorrow's video. You'll enjoy the whole thing, but I think you're going to really love tomorrow's video. Caleb had a good question. When is part 2 of the skit releasing? Hopefully sooner than later. That video is still being worked on. So I have my reasons, but it's got to be perfect. And until it is, it won't be released. So hopefully soon. But you guys are going to get another skit tomorrow. And I think you guys, like I said, are going to love it. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you so much for all joining me. Again, I'm very, very sorry that this thing was vertical tonight. I have no idea why it did that. It's never done that to me before, but it did it to me tonight. So who knows? But again, thank you for all the thumbs up. Thank you for the super chat, Mike K. Thank you to anyone who is brand new on the channel. If you have not joined us, please do so. Every week, we're on here Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for Octane Hour. And hit that red subscribe button and the bell so you're notified every single Wednesday when I'm going live. But you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I'll see you guys next live.